ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Today in the Gita class, you said Atma is not the cause of suffering and Anatma is also not the cause of suffering. Then what is the cause of suffering? That's the question, very good question. Can you please explain the point again? What is the cause of suffering? Meaning the jiva's suffering. See, this is the fun part. When you analyze suffering, there is, it is a suffering to analyze the suffering. That is what it is. That seems to be the suffering. So it's actually very interesting. This is how mithya is. Mithya is like that. It cannot, anything that is mithya. Mithya is not an object. It's the reality statement of an object. So, if anything is analyzed, vicharam na sahate iti mithya. Vicharam, enquiry. Na sahate, it cannot brook, it cannot tolerate enquiry. That which cannot tolerate enquiry is mithya. So same thing, when you try to pin down suffering, it's like, like supposing in those old-fashioned thermometers, not the one that goes zip, zip here, okay? The old-fashioned one, which had parad in it, mercury in it. Supposing it broke, in the event that it broke, then when it broke, what would you see? Small little white drops, silver beads. You couldn't decide whether they were liquid or solid. You would try to catch them and they would immediately go all over the place. You could not catch them at all. They were there and then they were gone. And then they were there and then they were gone. Anything mithya is like that. You cannot, the suffering is like that. You try to pin the suffering down and say, okay, it belongs to this, it is belonging to that. It belongs to the body. Arey, how can it belong to the body? Suffering can belong to the body. Is the body Chaitana or Jada? Jada. Jada means what? Alive. Inert. Okay. Just checking. So, Jada means inert. Sentient, it is not. And so if it is not conscious, how can, see, suffering means the rock cannot suffer, correct? A boulder cannot suffer, a water cannot suffer, 5 elements cannot suffer. And so a body that is made up of 5 elements, how can it suffer? So the suffering doesn't belong to the body, correct? And so that which is jada cannot suffer. So where do we pinpoint this suffering? No, it's in the mind. It's in the mind. And it's in the mind means what? The mind is made into a whipping boy for all kinds of things. The mind always is caught and said, okay, it's all in the mind. So, okay, let us play along with this. So the mind is suffering. Then mind also we see is not suffering, because suffering means it should be suffering all the time. But even the saddest person can be made to laugh. And Pujya Swamiji was an expert at doing that. He would see who was not laughing and he would make a sankalpa. Before the end of this camp, I'm going to make this person laugh. And of course, being Pujya Swamiji, he would succeed. So if the mind is always suffering, how is that person forgetting that and laughing? Not possible, correct? And so that means what? Mind also is not suffering. If it can remain without suffering, that means suffering is an impostor coming and going. That which comes and goes, you don't take it into account as your swabhava, swarupa, whatever it is. You don't say it is my swarupa. So then the body is not suffering. Mind is not suffering. For the same reason, the senses are also not suffering, because in sleep, is there suffering? No. You just bring in the example of sleep and all the analysis goes. So where is this sadness? Where is the suffering? Where is the sadness? That we have to see. It is not in Atma, because Atma, as the Shruti unfolds the Atma, it is totally free of all pain, all sorrow, anything. It's free, it's Ananda, because it is limitless. And it cannot be in Anatma. Why? Jadatvat. Because it is Jada. That which is Jada, you cannot say it is suffering. Even though we make, we anthropomorphize things like that. Like you go and to the temple and say God looks sad. God does not look sad. It is a aropa. So projection. God does not look angry. God does not look sad. The feature of that particular devata is etched in stone. It's not going to change. God does not look sad or happy or whatever it is. God looks like however that murti looked. But we have a transference. We have a projection. And so that means that suffering does not have a location. And if it does not have a location, what am I doing owning it up? Why am I owning it up? And of course, one thing we can blame, we happily go one place to blame. Who else to blame other than Atma Ajnanam? Atma Ajnanam. Because of Atma Ajnanam, I see things that are not there in the places where they are not. On the rope, which is snakeless, correct? Do you agree that the rope is snakeless? On the snakeless rope, I see a snake. In fact, a necklace of snakes I see on the snakeless rope. And on the, what is that? Silverless mother of pearl, what do I see? Silver. It shines like silver on the beach. Far away it is. So immediately I go and try to get it. That is the pravritti example. A positive adhyasa. Pravritti means running towards. A snake rope is nivritti. Nivritti means what? Running away from. Fear-based example. Withdrawal example and going towards example. Both of them are what? Mithya. So because of Atma Ajnanam, it's just like that crystal and the cloth which we have seen. So the crystal has let's say, a dull grey colored cloth behind the crystal, dirty cloth. Then immediately we say, oh, the crystal is dull. Crystal is not dull. What is? It is a projection. It is a upadhi. So the upadhi, the mantle of sadness, I, the ahankara, takes on. Why does it take it on? Because I don't know my glory. I don't know how wonderful I am. I don't know that I am free of sorrow. And so sorrow is, sorrow, where is the location? There is no location. I take it on because I don't know myself. If sorrow had a location, then it would be very easy. Is it outside of me or is it in me? Neither. It is neither in me nor outside of me. Outside means what? Like a COVID virus or a cold virus? I'm around people who are sad and I pick up the sadness. Yeah, correct. This is what happens. It does not, that's not true. Let's say you have just won the lottery. 2 minutes later you get the news you have to go to the funeral. Some funeral you have to attend. Can you stop smiling? Even though you are at a funeral, you have to try very hard not to think of how much money you have won and after taxes how many crores it will be and what all you are going to do with it. And these poor people, they don't even know you have won the lottery, and thank God, otherwise they would just, they would just ask you for the money. So here you are making plans for the money, you have just won the lottery, you can't wipe that smile off the face. But you are with all the people who are mourning. You have to bring the face to a certain decorum. So that means what? Sadness is not catching like the cold, like the common cold. It is not catching. It is not just because somebody else is sad, not necessary that you become sad because somebody else is sad. Not always. And so that when this vyabhichara is there, we know that that is not at all a possibility. So neither anatma is the cause of sadness. Why? Because it is jada. The sadness cannot be located in anatma. Sadness cannot be located. Atma can never be the locus of sadness. Anatma cannot be the locus of sadness. Because sadness assumes a sentient being. And so sadness is as those who superimposition upon the I that is free of sadness thanks to the prasada of Atma Ajnanam, self-ignorance. That's what. Sadness is mithya. Anything mithya you analyze, it's like that. It's all like that. And so the sadness comes under that category. Is there anything to suggest a person in their last stages or on their deathbed to help them have a birth suitable for jnana sadhana in the next life? Fantastic question. Second question, where can we find the definition of Satyam as one of the qualities of the mumukshu? Satyam means Satya Bhashanam, not Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Yeah. So the first one, is there anything we can suggest to a person? Yes. Just to listen, because they may not be in a place to chant, they may not have forgotten many things, but you can play Gita for them. Play them 2nd chapter, play them 8th chapter, 2nd chapter especially. Please keep playing, and then they can also chant Trayambakam Yajamahe, what is that called? Maha Mrityunjaya Mantra. They can chant. Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Varvarukamiv Bandhanan Mrityormukshi Amamritaat. This they can keep listening to on an infinite loop. This really helps. And you can also tell them to have a silent prayer that next life may it be for Atmajnanam. They can intend that. But of course, to intend that, they must want that. If you want it for them also, it is good. You can just make them listen to all this. No problem. It will really, really help. It is because at the end of life, the portals are kind of open. There is a much more opening because people are getting ready to leave. So there is much more permeability than somebody who is, yet to be on the deathbed or whatever. So when the portal is open, then there is more receptivity to all this. And so that is a good thing. So that is that. Those two things can be done. And then the next one is Satyam. Yeah, Satyam we saw just in the Kena Upanishad. Satyam Ayatanam. And sometimes Satyam is not called Satyam, Arjavam. Riju Bhava. Riju means there is a certain connectivity, an uprightness in terms of speech, matching the thought, matching the action. That is Satyam. It's not that I think something and then I say something else. So that is Arjavam is the quality for the mumukshu, jignasu, wanting the knowledge. And then even if you go the traditional way, shamadama, uparati, titiksha, shraddha, samadhanam, there also the satya bhashanam is hidden. Because if we talk about shamadama, that already is comes, a certain kind of discipline. That discipline includes truth. And then in the Taittiriya Upanishad, we have a whole section which is the valedictory address of the first graduation ceremony in history by the teacher to the disciples. Vedamanujyacharyante vasinamanushaasti. Vedam anujya, having taught the Vedas, ante vasinam, the inmates, for lack of a better term. So, ante vasinam anushasti. Anushasti means the shasanam teaching is over. Now there is a repeat teaching, summarization of that. And what is that? Satyam vada, speak the truth. Dharmanchara, follow dharma. And then Acharyaya priyandhanam ahritya prajatantum ma vyavachhetsi. Acharyaya, for the teacher, priyam dhanam. Priyam dhanam means not 1 rupee, like that. So that which is priyam to the acharya, that dhanam means some kind of a dakshina, please offer before you get married. The brahmacharis are told. Because even the Upanishad knows after the marriage nothing is going to come by way of donation. Because now 2 people have to make the decision. So don't get married until you give the dakshina to the acharya. Otherwise permission may not come from the other side. So that is so Satyam Vada comes right at first. Then later also Satyanna Pramaditavyam. Do not move away from the truth. Dharmanna Pramaditavyam. Kushalanna Pramaditavyam. Bhutyaina Pramaditavyam. Do not neglect all this. Swadhyaya pravachanabhyanna pramaditavyam. Devapitrakaryaabhyanna pramaditavyam. Matrudevo bhava, pitrudevo bhava, acharya devo bhava, atithi devo bhava. After all this is given, then what to do when you don't know what to do? This also is given. Yani anavadyani karmani, tani sevitavyani, no itarani. Generally just don't do things they are not supposed to do. Yani asmakagum sucharitani, tani tvayopasyani, no itarani. And then supposing you don't know what to do, go to the elders who can help you. Tvaya asanena prashvasitavyam. Give them an asana, give them a place to sit, respect them, and then they tell you what to do. If there is athayadite vritta vichikitsa va karma vichikitsa va syat. Vritta vichikitsa, conduct doubt. Karma vichikitsa, action doubt. Syat, if it is there. Ye tatra brahmana asam marshinaha. Any elders, teachers who are there in the community. Yukta ayukta. They are very well, they are upheld for their conduct. They are together. Aluksha dharma kamasyuhu. They are lovers of dharma. Approach them and ask them what to do. All this is given. Satya Bhashanam is very, very important definition of mumuksha jignasa. Why does Nachiketa go to Lord Yama? He could have, the father immediately said, no, I didn't mean it. But what does he say? He says, Anupashya yatha purve, pratipashya tatha apare. Sasyamiva martyaf pachyate, sasyamiva ajayate punaha. This little boy teaches the father. The father hangs his head in shame. This little boy says, look in our kula, in asmakam kule, in our kula, has anybody said something and not done it? Meaning told a lie. And the father says, no, we haven't, nobody has done that. And look around you, all the people that matter, people who are dharmic, people who are wonderful. Has anybody done that? Said something that they would do and then they have backed off from it. Again the father says no. That's why he says I have to go. Because nobody tells a lie in our lineage. And so that's why he goes to Lord Yama. So Satya Bhashanam, very, very important. And you know why? Because if we tell something that is not true, there are two people inside of us. One is the knower, the other is the doer or the speaker. And if there is a duplicitousness, then the two are like Navagrahas in the temple. They don't talk to each other. They don't face one another. So there is a disconnect. And for this knowledge to sit, that inner duality must not be there. So nobody wants to tell a lie. People tell lies because they are afraid of how they will be seen. Behind each lie is a deep fear or an insecurity. That has to be healed, and then there is no reason for the lie. You are what you are. That's all. That's what the idea is. What will be the jnani's attitude to physical pain? How can pain during a disease be seen different from the eye, even if the person is a jnani? Yeah, let's say, that is indeed difficult. To some extent, one can practice sakshita and everything naturally that comes to a jnani. But then even if the jnani cries in pain, the crying is what? Mithya. Pain is also mithya. It's okay. It's okay because the pain is there and the crying is there. But it's a jnani because I have watched all this with Pujya Swamiji. It's a jnani because even though they may be crying out in pain, the next minute when they see somebody, they are able to just greet the person as though nothing happened, as though it is just it's as though a different person has come and they are talking. So that is there. So, the body, the mind sense complex is subject to disease, subject to pain. And so sometimes even when one is not crying, if there is severe pain, tears will come out of the eyes. It's a kind of a nature's catharsis. Catharsis? Yeah, catharsis. Nature's way of catharsis. So the jnani's job is to not identify with the crying being. The crying being is responding to what is happening into the upadhi, and that is the level of the ahankara. The jnani is not identified with that ahankara, so the jnani is free of the pain. Next one. We have learned much about how to pray and what different mantras and stotrams there are. Please advise on how to listen to the devatas, how to understand the responses to the prayers. Yeah, that's a good question. Very nice questions, all of them. So, always it's good to remember that all prayers are answered. Sometimes the answer is no. That's all. We don't take that as an answer. We don't want to take that as an answer. Sometimes the answer is not yet. No. We don't like hearing no, especially from Bhagavan. Because if Bhagavan says no, where will I go? Correct? But all prayers are answered. Sometimes the answer is no. Why? Because my own karma is standing in the way of that prayer fructifying. And my prayer is not enough to even shake the hair of this prarabdha, which is very, very strong, standing in the way. Perhaps the prarabdha can be mitigated, but it cannot be totally neutralized. And so, I have to, now the onus is on me. I have to take the no. Correct? That means I have to accept the no. If I can't accept the no, that means I am saying no to the no. Right? Can I say yes to Ishvara's no? No. Can I say yes to my own no? No. Can I say yes to the no of the no of the no? Somewhere I have to say yes. At some point, somewhere, when I say yes, clarity comes. Clarity dawns. And most of the time we say, I don't know, please guide me, help me, pray, I'm praying. But actually the answers are already there. Inner Krishna talks, inner Guru talks. Answers are all there. I'm afraid to open and find out. It's like lucky dip, you don't know what's going to come. Some fortune will be there. I don't know what's going to come. I'm afraid to look. That's why I don't know what it says. What is the answer to the prayer? And so I have to be able to say yes to the no at some point. Then it is easier. So if it is a no, all right, there are many other things to ask for. It's not the only desire. So many desires are there. Maybe there will be a yes to many of the other things. We forget, whenever the answer is yes, we take it for granted. And that's why the doctors even are recommending a gratitude journal. Write down all the things that are going well. We expect things to go well. It's only when they don't go well, Bhagavan comes into the picture. So we train ourselves to notice all the things that are going very, very well. That way we know that so many prayers are being answered even without asking. They are being answered constantly. When I was small, the elders used to say that be careful what you wish for. Why? Because there are devatas called tathastu devatas. Their job is, they are little angel-like devatas. They just keep saying tathastu, 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 meaning what? So be it, so be it, so be it. So you have to be mindful what you think. So that was also a good practice as a child, to be mindful of what one wishes, what one thinks. It's important. What strengthens bhakti? Acting it out. Just like bhakti is a relationship. So if two people are in a relationship, a committed relationship, and then one person's birthday comes and the other person says, I have a lot of love in my heart, but I don't need to wish you, much less buy you a gift, much less wrap it up, much less give it to you. What is going to happen to that relationship? What is going to happen to that person who says all these things? Yeah. They will be shown the door. Please go. but I have a lot of love in my heart. Yeah, if you're not showing it, go. It has to be shown. And even somebody who is, let's say, a samadarshin, like a physics person, physics professor, or a chemistry professor. So the chemistry professor says, or the physics professor says, all metals are the same. He says to who? The love of his life. All metals are the same. Gold ring, iron ring, all the same. So then let us say the fellow goes to propose with an iron ring. Okay? How is their proposal going to go? What is the person who is being proposed, who is receiving a proposal for marriage nonetheless, if she sees the iron ring, what is she going to do? She's going to run away from there. She'll say, you are a weirdo. And she will be absolutely correct. Because this is at the level of vyavahara. All metals may be the same. Gold, platinum, iron, it's all the same. So I'll give an iron ring. I am a samadarshin. You can't do that. Any relationship, it has to be expressed. It has to be enacted. That is what strengthens the relationship. So that's what nurtures the relationship. Anything, not just a romantic relationship, although that was the example that was given, but even with the parents, with the grandparents, with any friend also. You can't just say, I have love for you in my heart, I love you from a distance. Why? The whole idea of a connection and a friendship is what? To remove the distance. But here you are saying, I'm a Vedantin and so I love you from a distance. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. So even Bhagavan cannot be loved from a distance. The whole idea of bhakti is to just make this so real, like Mirabai did to her Krishna. Like so many bhaktas we see, Kalidasa, Purandharadasa, all of them, they were mad after God because they saw Bhagavan as real and everything was real. And you have to make that real, that making it real strengthens the bhakti. So what strengthens bhakti? Acts of bhakti strengthen the bhakti. Enact it out, act it out. In the beginning it may feel fake. In the beginning there is a lot of authority issues. Who are you? I don't know. And today you haven't answered any of my prayers. Maybe you want to say no. I don't know. And so therefore, here you want some naivedyam, pranaya, swaha, etc., blah, blah, blah. And then what else, here is a lamp. And I am on my phone and I am doing the lamp. And so you get what you put into any action. The karma phala is in keeping with what you put into it. And any action, the sincerity matters. And here too you have to enact it. In the beginning it will feel fake. It will feel strange. I have to have an altar. I have to go like this, then I have to go like this, then I have to go like this. What is like this? Bell. Yeah. And what is this? What is all these strange things? In the beginning it feels weird, but stay with it. And then after a while, when you don't do these weird things, then it will feel weird. When you go out the house and you forget, I forgot to offer this, then you rush back like a strange person. You rush back into the apartment and then you offer and then you go out. Then now you are being weird compared to other people, in the eyes of other people. But the bhakti has solidified. Bhagavan for you has become real, part of your day-to-day life. That is the bhakti. And then, it is so much easier to love Bhagavan than to love a human being. The human being is full of moods. One day you come, can't live without you. Another day, who are you? Human being is full of moods. Who are you and why are you in my life? One day, this is Pujya Swamiji's words. One day, I love you. Another day, I allow you to go away. I think we need space. This is, but Bhagavan, you don't have anything. Same every day, same thing, same smiling face, same blessing hand. Abhaya Mudra, don't fear, I am here. That's the translation of Abhaya Mudra. Same thing, no need to fear. So it is very easy to love Bhagavan and to show love to Bhagavan. Bhakti is Parama Prema Swarupa, according to the definition in the first Narada Sutra. What is Bhakti? Bhakti is Parama Prema Swarupa, of a kind of a ultimate love. And you see how much even the day-to-day love felt for the parents, felt for the family members, felt for the significant other. How much Vyakulata means agitation it can cause, anxiety it can cause, excitement it can cause. So the same thing, if it is directed towards Bhagavan, one becomes a devotee. That is what it is. Because the person who is, let's say the person going on the road saying Meenakshi, 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 because that is the love of his life, let us say. Meenakshi, 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 everybody says this person is mad. But supposing that much feeling was directed towards Madurai goddess, the presiding goddess deity of Madurai, who is that? Meenakshi. Then there is a transformation that happens, and that transformation is very, very beautiful. Person gets totally inwardly transformed. Bhakti is a scrub. It's a cleanser. It just takes away the raga, dvesha. It takes away the pains. It takes away sorrows, and you have a special relationship with Bhagavan all the time. It's not distance. Because why? We are Advaitins. You don't need an intermediary. That is the beauty of it. In this prapancha, measure of time, space, weight, etc. are based on basic units we only derived. Yes. From the teachings, it appears that there is no beginning, no end. Kindly confirm my understanding if it is correct. Sorrow and happiness feelings are based on the individuals only. Yes, your understanding is correct. No beginning, no end, because the prapancha, the jagat is in the form of cycles. When all the karmas, means all the ragadveshas of this batch of jivas, only 8 billion we are counting human beings, but there will be so many other billions and trillions and quadrillions of jivas out there. If you even the earthworm and things seen under the microscope. Somebody sent me a video, the human hand. And so this hand first is just a regular hand. This side of the hand, not even that side of the hand. This side of the hand, and then they put it under the microscope and another scope and they keep enlarging it. You see so many things. It's like a whole solar system. It's like everything. It's just amazing. And so there's a lot happening. Even if it looks very stationary, there's just a lot happening. So therefore, it's all Ishvara's intelligence. It's all just the whole universe is pervaded by Ishvara's intelligence. That intelligence has the power to decide when all the desires of the jivas for now are gone, and then the whole universe folds up without a trace. Nothing is left, not even a burp. It just folds up. And then again that universe is issued forth repeatedly again when the jivas are ready to express their desires all over again. This is the working explanation. Otherwise, we have to say three things. What Jagat, what jivas, what desire. This is just a working explanation. Finally, what was that? Yeah, what explanation? Correct. Yeah. In what ways does Arjuna's imbibing of the Gita knowledge affects his action and his mindset as they appear in the Mahabharata after the Gita? Can others tell? Yes, others can tell. And he fights beautifully and he is just very, very happy and wins the war because Krishna is by the side. How can he not win the war? How can you lose? And then after that, after his death, he ascends, goes to heaven. That is where it ends. But then at the end of the Mahabharata, he tells Lord Krishna, you know, the best thing about the Kurukshetra war, you know what that was? The Bhagavad Gita Upadesha. I would like to hear it again, oh Krishna. And Lord Krishna doesn't say, are you out of your mind? Why don't you remember? What's wrong with you? No such thing. Teacher is very, 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 very patient, compassionate. So Lord Krishna says, yes, I will teach you. And then there is another Gita called Uttara Gita. This Uttara Gita is the same thing because what else can it be? Same thing expressed differently. And in fact, after we finish the Gita, we will have Uttara Gita on 2 or 3 topics. One topic I will be talking about is yoga. What is the significance of the word yoga in the Bhagavad Gita, how it is used and what are the ways in which it is used. That will be one topic. And then the other topic will be the relevance of the Bhagavad Gita in day-to-day life. That will be the other topic. And then if there is time, we'll think of we'll have one more topic, which is the topic of Shrestha, leadership in the Bhagavad Gita, if there is time. But these two we will do and we will see. And then I hear you have finished the all the other things. Vishnu Sahasranama finished? Yes. Yes? No? Yes. Okay. Yes. All right. So then, what are you going to do tomorrow? What shall we do tomorrow? You want time for rehearsal? No? Yes?
We are rehearsing in the afternoon usually.
Huh?
We usually do the rehearsal in the afternoon.
In the afternoon. Okay. So what would you like to do tomorrow and day after?
Whatever you think is appropriated for us.
Any Gita? Nobody likes Gita at night. Yes. Yes? You like Gita?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe what I will do is we'll just start talking about these topics and then we'll see where it goes. We will just try that. And if there are any questions on the side, we'll do that. All right? Yeah. Then I thought today was the last satsang because I thought you had not finished those things with Agamananda ji. So, but then maybe since there are, tomorrow is what? Friday and Saturday. 2 days are there. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 3 days are there. Let's see what we can do. We'll manage something. All right? Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva शान्तिः शान्तिः हरिः ओम्